cleanse the space. I am Z, and I am ex-evangelical, now spiritualist, and I felt called to create social media platforms and kind of just share my story. I was going to originally share my story from the beginning, but I'm not doing that today. Today we're doing an introduction, and maybe I'll share my whole story at some point. I'm sure I will. Right now I'm not, but right now I am just sharing what I have on my heart and my mind in this moment, as well as doing an introduction. So yes, again, I'm Z. Hey, I'm 35. I am a mother of two, a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old. I am soon to be divorced twice, a man and a woman, a true pansexual, and I am leaving everything behind and starting over. This past summer, I had left a relationship that I knew that I should have left years ago, but I am very stubborn, and when someone tells me no, I work extra hard at the thing to make it work. Why did I get married? I don't know. I knew I shouldn't have gotten married the second time. I know I shouldn't have gotten married the first time. I should have not married. I should have not been married at all at this point. But here we are, because it was part of my journey. You know, I had to do it. It was part of my journey. What can I say? I was meant to do these things. I was meant to go through this, because going through this taught me how to love myself so deeply and unconditionally in ways that I just never thought were possible. And so this past summer, I went through a spiritual awakening of sorts, and I just woke up and realized that my life, I romanticized my life to the point where I completely ignored all the ways that it was tearing me down. I was not myself, okay? I was not a person. I was stressed. I was anxious. I was to the point where I felt mentally tormented. And the thing is that, like, I was so good at putting a facade on that nobody knew. Those who were closest to me didn't know. Those who I worked with didn't know. Really only the people, the person, my children that were in the closest, most direct contact with me knew. And unfortunately, not my children, but the relationship was a big part of the problem. I knew I had to leave, but I was scared of change. I was in that relationship for 6 years. If you ask her, she'll say 7. We've had differences in time, but it became part of my identity. And the thing was that up until that point, I didn't have an identity, right? Like, I did not know myself. I did not know what I truly wanted. I was comfortable, and comfort to me meant safety. But the whole time I was not safe at all. I was not mentally safe. I was not emotionally safe. Sort of physically safe. But there were just so many ways that that relationship and that life just wasn't for me. But I didn't know who I was outside of it. Even sometimes now, me looking at the screen and like not having a wedding ring on, it's like, who is this person, you know? And the thing is that, like, this person needed to be here, and she needed to go through all these things, right? I am so grateful for every person that I have been, for every woman who has come before me to this very moment, where even though I am not in my dream home yet, right? Or I am not in my dream career yet. I am on my way because I've taken action and I've decided that that life that I thought was all that I could have was not it. It wasn't it. That it wasn't the end. It wasn't for me. And I needed to really trust my intuition, trust my guides, trust myself, and have faith. And I'm still having faith that I'm going to come out of this bigger and better because I am actually knowledgeable of who I am. I know who I am. I know what I want. And even though I am not 100% like playbook at this point, I know that I needed to give up all the things that no longer served me. I needed to give up those things that I loved to find the things that loved me back and loved me in the way that I need to be loved, not in the way that they wanted to love me, not in the way that they wanted to appreciate me, but in the ways that I truly feel loved and appreciated. And I needed to get rid of who I was to make room for who I am and who I'm becoming. And this is what this YouTube is about. This YouTube is about doing the thing, even if I'm terrified, even if I'm scared, even if I, feel like maybe nobody will see this. Like, at the end of the day, I'm doing the thing because I feel called to do it. And that is my journey right now. My journey is to do the scary thing, to do the hard thing, to trust myself, to trust my guides, to trust my intuition, and believing deeply that I am on a path that is going to bring me to my best and highest self. I had to leave everything behind, everything that I knew. I was honestly pushed out at the end. Like, I knew I wanted to go, but I needed that shove. I was shoved out at the very end. And, I'm grateful for it. I'm healing. And a big way of healing is just being so deeply immersed in love for self. I love myself so deeply and so unconditionally, to the point where it does not matter what other people think, what other people say, how other people feel about me. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters anymore. Like, nothing fucking matters. The only thing that matters is that I'm doing it, that I'm letting go, that I'm walking in faith, because I know that loving myself and trusting myself and following this faith is going to take me to where I need to be. So, yeah, that's me. I'm Z. That's my introduction. I have accepted the call. I have left everything behind, and I'm starting over, 35, on my third life. I'll be sharing all the lives that I've had to this point, to get to where I am now. So I'm grateful, and I would love if you join me on my journey.